Have you ever sat alone, maybe late at night, and suddenly wondered, why does my body feel so different now? Not just the aches in your knees or the stiffness in your back, but the quiet, personal changes you don't talk about with anyone. The ones you pretend don't matter. You know, those private habits you used to have, the ones that slowly faded away as the years passed. And maybe you told yourself, I'm old. I don't need that anymore. But let me ask you something real. What if that simple, natural action you pushed aside, something you once did without thinking, was actually protecting your body all along? What if ignoring it has quietly changed your hormones, your mood, your sleep, even the way your body functions down there? Most people never think about it. Most seniors never talk about it. Some are embarrassed. Some feel ashamed. Some believe intimacy is only for the young. And some feel like discussing it would make them look ridiculous. But what if staying silent is the very thing holding you back from feeling better, physically, emotionally, and mentally? So, let me speak to you gently, like a friend who genuinely cares about your well-being. Avoiding this private part of your health doesn't make you stronger. Sometimes, it just hides what your body is trying to tell you. There are quiet changes that happen when you stop touching or connecting with yourself. Changes inside your hormones. Changes in your circulation. Changes in your pelvic health. Changes in how you sleep. Changes in how you feel about yourself. And the surprising thing is, urologists have been studying this for years. They've uncovered things many seniors have never even heard of. Things small, silent, and easy to overlook, yet powerful enough to affect your confidence, your comfort, even your day-to-day mood. So today, I want to share something that might shift the way you think about aging and your intimate health, forever. Because this video isn't about shame. It's about understanding. It's about taking care of the one body you have. And it's about giving yourself permission to feel alive, connected, and confident, no matter how old you are. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happens inside your body when self-stimulation completely stops. You'll learn how it affects your hormones, your prostate or pelvic muscles, your sense of pleasure, your sleep patterns, and even your emotional balance. Some of what you hear might surprise you. Some of it might hit home. And some of it might make you rethink a few things you quietly gave up on. But before we go any deeper, let me know you're here with me. Just drop a simple comment, I'm here, if you believe senior health deserves more open, honest, human conversations. No shame. No judgment. Just truth, and care. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, your safe space for confident, healthy, empowered aging. Let's move gently into the first sign, one most people never connect to this issue, yet it's often the earliest warning your body tries to send you. I want you to picture someone like Charles. A calm, quiet man in his early 70s. He's the type who never complains, never makes a fuss, and always blames everything on just getting older. But one morning, as he tries to get out of bed, he feels this strange stiffness. Not in his back. Not in his legs. But lower. Deep around the pelvis. A kind of dull, heavy discomfort he can't really explain. And because he's lived long enough to see many aches come and go, he shrugs it off. He tells himself, it's age. Nothing more. But what he doesn't know is that something else, quiet, subtle, almost invisible, is happening beneath the surface. You see, urologists talk about this often. They explain that the pelvic region, the muscles, the nerves, the tissues, all depend on regular blood flow to stay active, healthy, and responsive. And one of the things that naturally boosts that circulation over a lifetime is sexual stimulation, including self-stimulation. Now, when that stops entirely, not for a day or a week, but for months or years, the body adjusts. Circulation slows. Muscles become less active. Tissues receive less oxygen, And gradually, sensations begin to change in ways that many older adults quietly notice but never talk about. But here's the problem: most seniors assume this is all just part of aging. They believe sexual health doesn't matter after a certain age. They believe losing interest means the body no longer needs stimulation. They believe ignoring the area will make those changes go away. But the truth is, your body still depends on circulation. Your tissues still rely on movement. Your muscles still need engagement, even gentle, even occasional, to stay alive and functioning. The discomfort Charles felt wasn't simply old age. It was his body whispering, something is slowing down. Something needs attention. And this doesn't mean you have to do anything extreme or uncomfortable. Sometimes, the simplest things can help. Gentle stretching. Light pelvic exercises. A few minutes of mindful breathing directed toward the lower body. Anything that encourages natural movement and flow. And if the discomfort becomes more noticeable, talking to a doctor isn't something to fear. You're not doing anything embarrassing. You're simply taking care of your health, the same way you would for your heart, your bones, or your joints. Because ignoring this sign doesn't make it disappear. It only makes it grow quieter, until it eventually becomes louder. And the surprising thing? This physical change is just one part of the story. Poor circulation is only the beginning. What comes next often shows up long before you ever feel a physical symptom. It appears in your emotions. Your mood. Your sense of balance. Your day-to-day peace. I want you to picture Diane, a warm and gentle woman in her early 70s. Always smiling. Always patient. Always the rock of her family. But over time, slowly, quietly, something shifted inside her. She started snapping at small things she used to laugh about. She found herself waking up with a heaviness she couldn't explain. Her motivation dropped. She lost interest in simple joys. And every now and then, she'd think to herself, why am I feeling this way? What's happening to me? Nothing dramatic, nothing loud, just small changes, one layer at a time. Her family assumed she was lonely. They thought maybe she was bored. Or maybe her age was simply catching up with her. But deep down, Diane knew something else was going on. She just didn't know what. Because here's the quiet truth many seniors never hear. Your intimate health affects your emotional balance, more than most people realize. Urologists and psychologists both talk about this. They explain that occasional self-stimulation releases natural, feel-good chemicals in your body. Endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin. These aren't sexual hormones, they're emotional stabilizers. They help regulate your mood. They reduce stress. They calm the mind. They create a sense of release, relief, and balance. And when that natural release disappears completely, the emotional buildup has nowhere to go. This is especially important in older age, when your hormone levels are already shifting, already delicate, already needing support. So when seniors stop engaging in any form of intimate self-connection, sometimes for years, those calming chemicals become harder to access. And the result? You may feel more irritated. More restless. More sensitive. Less grounded. Less connected. Less yourself. But here's the tricky part. Most families don't understand this. They assume you're just aging. They think you're being moody. They think you're lonely or stressed. They rarely suspect that something as quiet and personal as a drop in intimate stimulation could be playing a role. And because of that, seniors like Diane are left feeling confused, guilty, or frustrated, thinking, why do I feel this way for no reason? But you're not imagining it. Your body is reacting to changes, even if you're not talking about them. So what can you do? You don't need anything complicated. You don't need to force anything unnatural. You don't need to pressure yourself or pretend. Sometimes the first step is simply staying more emotionally engaged. Having conversations, doing light physical activity, connecting with people you trust, and being honest with yourself when something feels off. Talking to a doctor can also help if the emotional changes grow stronger. There is no shame in checking in on your emotional health. In fact, it's one of the bravest things you can do for yourself. Because emotional well-being is not a luxury at your age, it's a necessity. But emotional changes are only a small part of the bigger picture. And while they may show up first, they are not the only signals your body sends. There are deeper, quieter structures inside you, muscles, glands, and sensitive tissues, that depend on regular activity to stay healthy. And when that activity stops for good, they begin to change, too. I want you to imagine Henry. A calm, steady man in his late 60s. The kind who doesn't like doctors, doesn't like bringing attention to himself, and certainly doesn't like discussing anything related to his private health. Around the time he turned 67, Henry decided to stop all intimate activity. Not because he was sick. Not because he lost all ability. But simply because he felt he was too old for it now. And for a while, he didn't notice anything unusual. Life felt the same. Routine. Predictable. But over time, months, even years, he began feeling a quiet pressure deep in his lower body. Not pain. Just pressure. A heaviness down there that didn't exist before. And like many seniors, he brushed it off with the same sentence we've heard again and again. It's just age. Nothing to worry about. But what Henry didn't know was this. According to urologists, occasional intimate release can help reduce prostate congestion in men. It keeps the gland active. It helps clear built-up fluid. It maintains circulation. It supports overall comfort and function. So when a man stops completely, especially for long stretches of time, something subtle can begin to happen beneath the surface. The prostate may become a little more congested. A little more swollen. A little more sensitive. And that pressure Henry felt? It was his body quietly signaling that something needed attention. Many older men don't know this. They assume that no activity equals safety. That complete avoidance means nothing can go wrong. But the truth is, silence doesn't always protect you. Sometimes, it simply hides the early signs. And here's where it gets even trickier. Most seniors ignore subtle urinary changes because they think they're a normal part of aging. Things like going to the bathroom more often, hesitating before urine starts, feeling like the bladder isn't completely empty, waking up multiple times at night, mild pressure in the pelvis. These signs are easy to dismiss, easy to underestimate, easy to blame on old age. But your urinary system is one of the body's earliest messengers. It rarely stays quiet without a reason. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean anything dramatic or scary is happening. For many seniors, these changes are manageable. Sometimes your body just needs a bit of support. Simple habits can help more than people realize. A bit more hydration. A bit more walking. Light pelvic stretching. Routine checkups. Not out of fear, but out of smart prevention. And if the discomfort grows stronger, early attention makes a world of difference. No shame. No embarrassment. Just self-care. But here's something many people forget. This issue isn't only about men. Women, too, experience their own form of pelvic congestion. Their tissues, their muscles, their circulation, all of it responds to changes in intimacy. Because when intimacy disappears from your life, not just sexual intimacy, but self-connection itself, the body reacts in its own quiet ways. And the changes women face, They often go unnoticed even longer. Evelyn was 68 when she first noticed it. She described it as feeling disconnected from her own body. Not pain, not illness, just a quiet fading of awareness. She realized she couldn't feel certain muscles the way she once did, and movements that used to feel natural suddenly required more effort. She assumed it was just age catching up with her. But in truth, her body was responding to something she hadn't considered, the complete absence of intimacy in her life. For both men and women, the pelvic region depends on regular, gentle stimulation to maintain tone, sensation, and coordination. When there's no intimacy at all, not even light affection or soft physical closeness, the muscles that support the pelvic floor begin to weaken. The nerves become less responsive. And the brain slowly loses the strong mind-body connection that gives confidence, balance, and sensitivity. Many seniors believe sensation simply disappears with age. They don't realize that inactivity accelerates that decline. They assume nothing can be done, so they say nothing. They don't bring it up to their doctors. They don't ask questions. They just quietly adjust to a version of themselves that feels less alive. But the truth is, the body is incredibly adaptive. Even small changes help. Gentle pelvic floor exercises can reawaken muscles that have gone quiet. Light stretching brings back circulation. Mindful awareness, just spending a few minutes noticing the sensations in your own body, can strengthen neural pathways that age alone does not erase. And once this connection begins to return, many older adults describe feeling more grounded, more confident, more in control. And as surprising as it may sound, these physical changes don't stay in the body alone. Even something as simple as your sleep can begin to shift in unexpected ways. George was 74 when sleeplessness quietly crept into his life. It wasn't dramatic, just nights where he lay awake longer than usual, tossing, turning, unable to settle into the deep rest he once took for granted. He tried changing his pillow. He tried adjusting his bedtime. He even wondered if it was something he ate. But no matter what he changed, the restlessness kept returning, and he couldn't pinpoint the cause. What George didn't realize is that even mild forms of intimate release, physical, emotional, or even gentle self-soothing, activate the body's natural relaxation response. These moments trigger subtle hormonal shifts, small pulses of endorphins, a soft wave of oxytocin, the calming release of tension in the nervous system. Without these occasional resets, the body can hold on to stress longer. Muscles tighten. Thoughts linger. And the mind doesn't switch off as easily at night. Many seniors assume insomnia is simply a normal part of aging. They tell themselves it's just how life goes after 60, 70, or 80. But the truth is, sleep patterns often change not because of age alone, but because certain forms of natural self-regulation gradually disappear from daily routines. And when that happens, restlessness becomes a quiet, unexpected visitor. Fortunately, small habits make a meaningful difference. A warm bath before bed can calm the nervous system. Light stretching releases stored tension. Slow breathing eases the heart rate. Even a gentle winding down ritual, turning off bright lights, playing soft music, sipping warm herbal tea, can help the body remember how to relax again. These practices aren't replacements for intimacy, but they help restore balance in a way the mind deeply appreciates. All of these signs can feel overwhelming when they appear one by one, but understanding them brings empowerment, not fear. Because awareness gives you the chance to respond early, gently, and confidently. Aging already brings enough changes to your energy, your routines, your strength, even the way you see yourself. So when silent physical or emotional discomfort slips into the picture, it can feel like just one more weight on your shoulders. One more thing you didn't expect. One more part of your life that suddenly feels unfamiliar. But here's what I want you to take in, deeply. Today's video is not about fear. It's not about shame. It's not about pointing out problems so you can worry about them. It's about clarity. It's about turning on the light in a room most people keep dark. Because when you understand what your body is trying to tell you, you gain something powerful: control. Control over your choices. Control over your comfort. Control over your well-being. You deserve that clarity. You deserve to live with confidence, not confusion. So if any of these signs felt familiar, just pause for a moment. Take a breath. Check in with your body. Ask yourself how you've been feeling, physically, emotionally, quietly, when no one is watching. And if something hasn't felt right lately, give yourself permission to talk to a doctor you trust. Not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Because your body is still yours. Still capable. Still responsive. Still deserving of comfort and care. Aging doesn't take that away. Time doesn't erase that. You deserve to feel connected, informed, and supported at every stage of life. Today, we explored the quiet yet meaningful ways that stopping self-stimulation can affect seniors, from reduced circulation and mood changes, to prostate or pelvic congestion, to muscle weakness, sensitivity loss, and disrupted sleep. These are things people rarely talk about, but they matter. They matter for your health, your comfort, and your quality of life. So let me ask you, which of these signs surprised you the most? Was it the emotional part? The physical changes? Or maybe the impact on sleep? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd truly love to hear what resonated with you. And if this conversation opened your eyes or helped you understand your body a little better, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Here, we talk about the things most people are too afraid to say out loud, but that older adults desperately need to hear. You deserve honest, respectful guidance for confident, healthy aging. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope you walk away feeling informed, empowered, and connected to yourself in a new way. Stay informed, stay confident, and honor your body at every age. I'll see you in the next video.